Hello. Good afternoon. Today we will start chapter number 2, that is sensors, actuators and end effectors. First of all, we will see the syllabus. Sensors, in that sensor classification, joint angle sensors, rotary encoders, proximity sensors and switches, range sensors, GPS or global positioning system, and INU means inertial sensors. Next point is actuators, in that comparison between hydraulic, pneumatic and electric drives, review of DC motors and stepper motors, AC motors, speed control of AC motors, variable frictional drives or VFD drives, and drive selection criteria. And last point is end effectors, in that end effectors and grippers classification, applications, design and selection criteria. Therefore, this is the syllabus. This chapter is divided into three major points or three major portion or three major sections: sensors, actuators and end effectors. Therefore, first of all, we are going to see the sensors. Now, definitions of sensor. Now here you are observing different images of sensors: ultrasonic sensors, infrared sensors, touch sensors. Now, what is meant by sensor? Now you are knowing that before going to the definition, God has also given to the human beings different sensors. 5 types of sensors we are knowing: ear, then tongue, nose, eyes, and skin. Means all these 5 sensors are there. It is provided by us, provided to us by the God. That's why we can see the different objects, we can feel cold, heat or warm. Also, with the help of ear, we can listen the things or we can hear the things. With the help of tongue, we can taste different things. That is, whenever we'll eat sweet, then this that tongue, on the tongue different portions are there. Our tongue is classified in different portions. That if at the tip of tongue, if you will place sweet, then taste will be of sweet. If at the tip of tongue you will place salt, we will not get taste of salt. That taste of salt is somewhere at different region in our in our tongue. Therefore, tongue is also divided into different parts or different portions, on which whenever that thing will go to that portion, then and then that particular type of taste will be there, or we can feel the particular type of taste. It is not like that whenever we will place anything on the tip of the tongue, then we will get the taste. At the tip of the tongue, we are getting the sweet taste only. Therefore, these are the different sensors. Also, skin is there. With the help of skin, we are feeling warm or maybe cold. Like this, these 5 different sensors God has provided to us. Therefore, same type of sensors we can use for the robots to sense different things. That is vision sensors, ultrasonic sensors, infrared sensors, touch sensors. Different sensors are there. We are going to see all the sensors one by one. Therefore, what is the definition of sensor? Sensors are devices for sensing and measuring geometric and physical properties of robots and the surrounding environment. That is, sensors are used to identify or to measure position, orientation, velocity, and acceleration. Also, sensors can find distance or size of the object. Also, sensors can be used to measure force, moment. Sensors can be used to measure temperature, luminance. Luminance means light, weight, etc. Therefore, this is nothing but definition of sensor. Now, sensors. Sensors in robots are like our nose, ears, mouth, skin, whereas vision or robot vision can be thought of as our eyes. Robots, like humans, must gather extensive information about their environment in order to function effectively. They must pick up an object and know it has been picked up. As the robot arm moves through the three-dimensional Cartesian space, it must avoid obstacles and approach items to be handled at a controlled speed. Some objects are heavy, others are fragile, and others are too hot to handle. These characteristics of objects and the environment must be recognized and fed to the computer that controls a robot's movement. Hence, we need efficient and appropriate sensors in robots. Now, in the first chapter, we have seen that different applications of the robot for material handling, then for welding, then for spray painting, then in case of medical, robots are used during surgery or during operations. Also, we have seen that collaborative robots, that is, robots are working along with human at the same time. Also, we have seen different mobile robots. Therefore, all these robots, whenever they are going to operate in the environment, therefore, we must provide sensors to these robots. Also, we have seen automatic guided vehicle. In the video, we have seen that whenever any obstacle is coming in the path of automatic guided vehicle, that automatic guided vehicle stops. Why it stops? Because vision sensor is provided to that automatic guided vehicle, so that whenever any obstacle will come in between their path, automatically that automatic guided vehicle will stop. And when that obstacle is, will remove that obstacle, then and then that automatic guided vehicle will move along its path. Therefore, this is nothing but different sensors, or what is meant by sensor, that can be provided on the robots. Now, see that various types of sensors. This diagram indicates various types of sensors. I will read the different sensors: accelerometer, gyroscope, pendulum resistive tilt sensors, piezo bend sensor, metal detector, gas sensor, Geiser Muller radiation sensor, pyroelectric detector, UV detector, resistive bend sensors, CDS cell resistive light sensor, digital infrared ranging, then infrared pin diode, infrared reflection sensor, light on infrared remote receiver, then infrared amplifier sensor, radio shack remote receiver, infrared sensor, lens, then limit switch, thyristor, IRDA transceiver, infrared modulator receiver, solar cell, mechanical tilt sensors, touch sensors, pressure switch, miniature polarized sensor, then magnetic sensor, Hall effect magnetic field sensors, magnetic reed switch, compass, Again, this another type of compass, piezoelectric transducers, Polaroid sensor board. Therefore, these are the different types of sensors that are used in the robot. This is the gas sensor while doing the operations. Now, what is the function of the sensor? Therefore, first function, basic function is to provide safe operation. In that, sensors must protect human workers who work in the vicinity of the robot or other equipment. For example, one can provide a sensor on the floor of a work cell where a robot is working, so that if anybody steps in the robot's power, in the robots, if anybody steps in, the robot's power should be switched off. Therefore, that vision sensor is provided to the robot. Therefore, anywhere, whenever any obstacle will come, that robot's power will be automatically switched off. Then next is interlocking. Interlocking means it is nothing but sequence of operation. Whenever one operation is getting completed, then and then other operation will be there. Therefore, this is required to coordinate the sequence of operations on a component. For example, unless a turning is done on a component, it should not be transferred to the conveyor. Now we have seen this application in machine tending, that is whenever robot is used to load and unload the jobs in the CNC machines. Whenever that turning operation takes place, then that arm comes or that robot comes in and it takes out that part and it places in the tray or it places that part on the conveyor. Therefore, this is nothing but sequence of operations. Programming has been done so that robots follow the particular operations. Always remember, particular program is fed to the robot, then and then that robot can work. Otherwise, it is very difficult for the robot to work. Without program, no robot can work. Then next is third function is inspection. This is essential for quality control. For example, one can use a vision system to measure the length of a component to check if it is within the acceptable tolerance limit or not. Therefore, for inspection purpose also robots are used. Then part configuration. It is essential in setting up the workstation and job before the process starts. If a robot is used to weld two parts of a car body, the sensors must identify the correct configurations, that is position and orientation of the parts before the robot start welding. Therefore, for identifying the parts, sensors are also used in case of robots. That is during the welding operation, that robots can see the its position and orientation. Also, this position and orientation aspect or part configuration, it is used in inspection while doing inspection of the parts, because if that part is placed properly, then and then inspection robot can do the inspection. If that part is placed invertedly or upside down, and if that particular type of program is not there in the robot, then robot cannot do the inspection. Therefore, we have to place the object at proper place and in proper orientation so that robot can do the inspection. Now, these are the basic functions provided by sensors in case of robots. Now, sensor classification. Now we have seen that different sensors we have seen, but that sensors are placed in the robot's body or on the robot's body either internally or externally. Therefore, internal sensors are classified as internal sensors and external sensors. Therefore, first of all, we will see internal sensors. Internal sensors are mainly classified as position sensors. Position in the position sensors, we will see incremental encoder, absolute encoder, potentiometer, LVDT, resolver. Then next is velocity sensors. In that, Hall effect sensor, all position sensors, tachometer. Next is accelerometer sensors. In that, all force sensors are there. And last is force sensors. In that, strain gauges, piezoelectric sensors, Hall effect sensors. Now sensors are also classified as external sensors. In case of external sensors, sensors are classified again in two types, contact type and non-contact type. In contact type, sensors are classified as limit switch, pneumatic switch, piezoelectric sensors, pressure transducers. In case of non-contact type, sensors are classified as proximity sensors, Hall effect sensors, microwave sensors, ultrasonic sensors, laser sensors, vision sensors. Sensor classification. Again, classification of sensors. Sensors classified in as internal sensors and external sensors. Internal sensors are used to operate the drive units. For example, position sensors, velocity sensors, acceleration sensors, force or moment sensor. External sensors used to collect information of the environment, that is surrounding environment. For example, temperature sensors, visual sensors, proximity sensor, acoustic sensor. Again, sensors are classified as contact type and non-contact type. Contact type means physical contact between sensor mounted on the robot and object. In that again, they are classified as touch sensor or tactile sensor or binary sensor. Indicates presence or absence of an object. For example, micro switch, limit switch. Then again, in contact type, sensors are classified as force sensor or analog sensor. Not only the contact is made, but also the force is measured. For example, sensors using strain gauges. Then non-contact sensors, in that no physical contact. Sensors are classified as proximity sensor, visual sensor, acoustic sensor, range sensor. Now we will see internal sensors. Robot sensors can be classified into two groups, internal sensors and external sensors. Internal sensors obtain the information about the robot itself, that is, they are nothing but position sensor, velocity sensor, acceleration sensors, motor torque sensor, etc. Now, internal sensors are nothing but optical encoder, acceleration sensors, velocity sensors. Next is external sensors. External sensors obtain the information in the surrounding environment. They are nothing but cameras for viewing the environment. Range, in that again, range sensors, in that infrared sensor, laser range finder, ultrasonic sensor, etc. Then contact and proximity sensors, in that photodiode, infrared detector, RFID, and touch sensor. Next is force sensors, measuring the interaction forces with the environment, etc. Therefore, these external sensors are mainly used in drone cameras. In case of drone, whatever that vision system is there, cameras that are nothing but sensor. Also, you are knowing this, NASA or maybe our ISRO, they have launched a NASA has launched that Mangalyaan mission, and that small robot they have placed on that Mars mission. Therefore, that robot is having some vision sensors so that that robot is capturing the images and it sends to that space station in America or wherever that headquarter of NASA is there. Similarly, you are knowing that India is sending satellites in the space. Therefore, that satellites are nothing but one type of robot only. Therefore, that satellites are fitted with different sensors so that because of that only we are getting the information about weather, also global positioning system. You are knowing in our mobile that GPS is there. Because of that only we are getting the different places where we are, or you are knowing that in the Google map that directions are there whenever we are visiting any place. Therefore, we are placing from destination from to. Therefore, and it is showing the path. Therefore, all the things that are nothing but because of satellites. Therefore, sensors plays an important part in case of robot. Now, position measurement. An optical encoder is used to measure the rotational angle of a motor shaft. It consists of a light beam, a light detector, and a rotating disc with a radial grating on its surface. The grating consists of black lines separated by clear spaces. The widths of the lines and spaces are the same. Line cuts the beam, a low signal input output. Space allow the beam to pass, a high signal output. Therefore, a train of pulses is generated with the rotation of the disk. By counting the pulses, it is possible to know the rotational angle. Therefore, we are going to see this in detail. Position measurement or position sensors. Now, see that these are the encoders. We are going to see it in detail. They are used to measure the position or displacement of an object. Now, encoders are classified again in two types, that is incremental linear encoder and absolute encoder. Absolute linear encoder, we are going to see that videos also. Therefore, linear encoder means what? It measures the linear displacement. This encoder is going to measure the displacement linearly. That angular displacement is also possible. That video is there. We are going to see that videos in that is nothing but rotary encoder. Linear encoders are used to measure only linear displacement or linear position. Displacement means position. Therefore, first of all, we'll see incremental linear encoder. It has a transparent glass scale with opaque grating. See that? This is the transparent glass scale with opaque grating. These vertical lines are nothing but gratings. The thickness of the grating lines and the gap between them is made same, which are in the range of microns. Therefore, this thickness and the difference between the two lines is same. Thickness of the this line and the difference between the two line is same. That line is known as grating. Therefore, and that thickness is in terms of microns. Now, one side of the scale is provided with a light source and a condenser lens, and on the other side there are light sensitive cells. See that once on one side of this incremental linear encoder or this glass scale, light source and condenser lens is there. Now, what is the use of this condenser lens? To remove unwanted signals. To remove unwanted signals and or to concentrate. Condense means to concentrate. to concentrate all the rays from this light source and pass only one single light ray through this condenser lens. Therefore, this is nothing but function of condenser lens. On the other side, there are light sensitive cells. See that on the other side here to the grating, these light sensitive cells are there. This is index grating. These are light sensitive cells. The resistance of the cells, that is photodiodes, decreases whenever a beam of light falls on them. Therefore, when a beam of light falls on these light sensitive cells, their resistance decreases. That is the property. Thus, a pulse is generated each time a beam of light is intersected by the opaque line. This pulse is fed to the controller, which updates a counter. Therefore, whenever a light beam will falls on these light sensitive cells, a pulse is generated and it is intersected by the opaque line. These are the opaque lines. This pulse is fed to the controller, which updates a counter, that is a record of the distance traveled. Next is absolute linear encoder. It is similar in principle as the incremental linear encoder. The difference is that it gives absolute value of the distance covered at any time. Thus, the chance of missing the pulses at high speeds is less. The output is digital in this case. The scale is marked in a sequence of opaque and transparent strips. See that this is the scale. Oh, this is the opaque strip. This is the transparent. Therefore, you will see different opaque and transparent strips on this encoder. In the scale shown, this is the scale. If the opaque block represents 1 and the transparent block represents at 0, then the leftmost column will show a binary number as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That is 5 times 0. That is a decimal value of 0. And the rightmost column will show a binary number 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That is a decimal value of 61. Therefore, this is nothing but absolute linear encoder on which these transparent and opaque strips are there. When we will see the videos, then you will understand it better. What is it by how these linear encoders are measuring the absolute position or the displacement of an object or thing. Therefore, this first of all we'll see this first video.
If you want to achieve better results, make a great impression, and save time at work, you should get Grammarly. Grammarly?
Linear encoders for machine tools. See that linear encoders, direct position measurement with linear encoder. This is the machine tool bed. Here now linear encoder is placed. See that here linear encoder is there so that it can measure ascertain the position directly on the axis side. This is moving, that's what position we will get. An aluminum housing protects it from chips, dust and splash water. This is the aluminum housing. See that this is the scanning unit so that this it can scan these gratings. This glass scale with grating. This is the mounting block, measuring methods, absolute measuring method. Linear encoders for machine tools. See that this is serial code track. This is incremental code track. Whenever power is switched on, the position is ascertained at standstill using the code track, the incremental track. Measuring methods, incremental measuring method. Incremental track, reference mark track. After power is switched on, a position is not identified and a saved unit until a reference mark has been scanned. For glitch, absolutes. See that these absolute positions are there. Absolute and incremental positions. What is absolute position? Incremental. Incremental means whenever that actual displacement, whenever it is moving, then that is known as incremental. Comparison of 4-field and single field scanning. See that this is single field scanning, this is 4-field scanning. Single field means 0 degree, 90 degree. With 4-field scanning, contamination reduces the quality of output signal. See that this is 1 minute. Again, I will take it back. Single field scanning, 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree. And single fields are there. See that lines. Here at a time, 4 fields it is scanning. Therefore, with 4-field scanning, contamination reduces the quality of the output signals. Contamination is there in case of 4-field scanning. In case of single field scanning, no contamination is there. Is particularly tolerant to contamination and provides higher quality of output signal. 4-field scanning means what? It scans 4 different fields. Single field scanning means what? It scans only one field or only one position. Signal generation and evaluation. See that this is single field scanning. Okay, this is the first video. We'll see next video.
Time is scout.
Direct position measurement with linear encoders. See that this slide is moving along the screw. Semi-closed loop rotary encoder measures the rotary motion of the spindle. This is the rotary encoder. It will measure the rotation of this spindle or screw from the rotary motion and the screw pitch. The control calculates the position of the axis. Axis drift, the spindle becomes warmer and expands slightly. That means whenever eccentricity will be there, that eccentricity also it will measure. The thermal expansion leads to position deviations. Closed loop, a linear encoder measures the position directly on the axis slide. See that this is the linear encoder. It will measure the position of this slide on the axis. This is a slide. The spindle temperature has no effect because the position is measured directly. Conclusion, direct position measurement with linear encoder leads to precise machining results. Therefore, this is one video. We'll see another video.
What is an encoder? An encoder
What is an
a
encoder?
combination
Linear
of
and rotary
physical
encoder, incremental and absolute encoder.
Encoders are used to translate rotary or linear motion into a digital signal, helping to determine the speed or position of a motor or other
You can
moving
listen the video also because I've kept audio of the video on.
parts. There are two different types of encoders, linear and rotary. A linear encoder responds to motion along a path, while a rotary encoder responds to rotational motion. Within these two categories, we can list different encoder
See
measurement
that this is the
types,
linear encoder, this is rotary encoder.
which are capable of providing unique
Please listen the video.
from the moment they are switched on. And incremental encoders that instead generate an output signal each time the shaft rotates a certain amount. Encoder also differ in electromechanical technologies such as optical, magnetic, inductive, capacitive, and laser. In this video, we will focus on the most popular encoder technology, the optical encoder. We will see different types of optical encoders and their applications.
See that optical encoders they are discussing.
Let's start from the linear encoder, which is basically a transducer paired with a scale that encodes position. The transducer reads the scale in order to convert the encoded position into a digital or analog signal, which can then be decoded into position by a motion controller. It is normally used for linear measurements in order to detect the translational motion of an object. These encoders, in fact, can use a rod or a cable that is run between the encoder's transducer and the object that will be measured for movement. Let's move on to the rotary encoder, also known as shaft encoder. Unlike the linear encoder, the rotary encoder collects data and provides feedback based on the rotation of an object, or in other words, a rotating device. Since it converts the angular position or motion of its shaft to analog or digital output signals. Basically, both linear and rotary encoders do the same thing. They produce an electrical signal. When this signal is properly processed by the electronic circuits, it produces analog or digital output signals, which are translated into angular movements, linear and rotational motion, as well as in rotation speed and accelerations. More than 10 years in industrial supplies, I've led GIS to become a qualified partner for some of the most important industrial automation companies, offering a wide range of different encoders types. As we have said before, both linear and rotary encoders can perform absolute or incremental measurements. Absolute rotary encoders can measure angular positions, while incremental encoders can measure things such as distance, speed, and position. Here, an example of absolute rotary encoder. We can see inside that a slotted disc on a shaft used in conjunction with a stationary pickup device. When the shaft rotates, the disc is rotated in a beam of light, such as an LED, and the markings on the disc act as shutters, blocking and unblocking the light. Thanks to this, a unique code pattern is produced. This means that each position of the shaft has a pattern, and this pattern is used to determine the exact position. If the power to the encoder was lost and the shaft was rotated, when power is resumed, the encoder will record the absolute position as demonstrated by the unique pattern transmitted by the disk and received by the pickup device. Absolute measurement encoders can be single turn or multi-turn. Single turn absolute encoders are used for measurements of short distance, while multi-turn absolute encoders would be more suitable for longer distances or more complex positioning requirements. Incremental rotary encoders create an output signal every time that the shaft rotates a certain amount. This output signal is then interpreted based on the number of signals per revolution. This encoder begins its count at 0 when powered on, so there are no safeguards regarding the position. That's because, unlike the absolute encoder, the incremental encoder begins its count at 0 in startup or power disruption. For this reason, it is necessary to determine a reference point for all tasks requiring positioning. The most common type of incremental encoder uses two output channels, A and B, to sense position and direction of rotation. Using two code tracks with sectors positioned 90 degrees out of phase, the two output channels of the encoder indicate both position and direction of rotation. If A leads B, for example, the disk is rotating in a clockwise direction. If B leads A, then the disk is rotating in a counterclockwise direction. Some types of incremental encoders with integrated communication signals are normally used as motor feedback. These additional signals simulate the hold phases, which are usually employed in brushless motor, as you can see in our previous video. Linear encoders, on the other hand, can be used inside a milling machine in order to obtain direct control over the exact position of the material. You can find encoders in many robotic devices for multi-axis synchronization control, but also we can find them in common printers. Absolute encoders can be used inside the pitch control system of wind turbines, allowing the blade's angle to be adjusted according to wind speed. An absolute encoder is often the preferred solution when the device is inactive for a long period of time or moves at a very slow rate, such as fluid gate control. Due to their many advantages, optical encoders are used in many industrial sectors, specifically where high precision is most needed, like in the healthcare sector, where this type of encoder can be used for precision medical equipment. If you found this video useful, please let us know by leaving a like and a comment. You can also share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find out our next project by visiting jaiscompany.com.
Okay, this is nothing but absolute and linear encoder. Now in this video, you have seen both linear as well as rotary encoder. Now what we'll do in next lecture, we will see this rotary encoder. Now today we'll stop here. Thank you very much.